Well, hello my friends and welcome back to the Icon YouTube channel. Today we're going to take you on a test drive in the latest and greatest Icon Bronco. It is a nice one, so come along. So yes, it is true, we do a lot of blue, but I like blue and there are a lot of blues. This is a different blue than we've ever done before. In fact, I don't think we've ever repeated a blue. And it works out really nice on this truck, especially complemented by the Wimbledon white for the grille inserts, the tailgate lettering, and rarely done, the white bumpers. Usually clients go for the chrome, but I really like the white. I think I would have preferred it white bumper, no Ranger trim, for more historical accuracy, but we're not known for our historic accuracy anyway, are we? So let's see. I'm shooting it today with the soft top on. Usually I just do like B-roll stills for you of bikini top or soft top and then focus the main video footage with the hard top. So I thought we'd mix that up a little bit and also give me an opportunity to show you around our soft top and explain how it works in more detail than normal. All right, so the Icon soft top. First of all, I hate those vinyl plasticky soft tops that everyone uses. Flappy, flappy, flappy. They're not tethered. They make a ton of noise. There's no insulation. They don't last. They suck in oh so many ways. So we kind of geek out on our soft top. So first of all, the entire frame is either mandrel bent or broken sheet metal. It is all marine epoxy primered and then powder coated. All the hardware is stainless steel. Then the skin. So all German canvas. We really like the OEM Mercedes soft top canvas specifically because it has 3 layers. So there's the black sort of herringbone pattern on the inside. Then there's a layer of insulation that's basically a fancy word for rubber. And then the top skin that's visible. So what we do is we take one of those and we take a layer of closed cell foam and then we take another layer of the canvas all in black and we have them heat laminated in large format sheets. Yes, that equals, if you're doing the math, 7 layers to the soft top. Now, everywhere that soft top connects to the steel frame, it's either full 3M Velcro wrapped so the top is secured and not slappy, slappy, slappy. And then along the bottom, we love these 10X snaps, which you'll find on modern vehicles such as Aston Martin, Rolls-Royce. So there's sort of like a fancy version of a snap, but they're super snug and they're brass and steel and they rock. So here's how it goes. If you want to, you can take the side and rear windows completely off and leave them at home. To do that, pop out this Velcro to access, thank you Nike, the YKK Marine zipper, and you walk that one up. There's a second one back here, pop, zip, walk it up, which then gives you access to another upper horizontal plane zipper, and then ta-da, you just take the whole party off and you leave it at home. Same operation for the rear window. Now plan B, if you don't know what the weather's going to bring, or it might get cold, or whatever your justification is, and you want to keep the side and back panels, we have these nice elastic pieces with C-clamp tethers, so you can roll and scroll and click them in position. And then that way, if it starts raining or gets cold, you can pop it down really easy. Now, by design, you can take the entire top off, including the structural steel frame. But honestly, what's the point? Because it's nice to have the shade canopy above you, and once you have these 3 panels off, you're 360 all open and you get all the sights and smells and sounds. Brings you closer to nature. But if you wanted to take it off, party on, it takes about 20 minutes to remove the frame. Now, one thing Ford did in the original trucks, it was a total pain in the butt if you had a high trim example. You had to remove the entire interior cargo panels. to be able to get your octopus arm up inside the quarter panel with the ratchet to hold the nut. We think that sucks. So what we've done, all stainless hardware here, is we set nutserts into the body prior to powder coat priming and painting and polyureaing. So you simply hit this row of hex heads and you can take the entire frame off. There's a series of bolts attaching it to the windshield frame as well. You can take the whole party off with the skin on or off. It doesn't matter if you want true open air experience. So there you go. I just thought it was a good opportunity to walk you through the top in more detail. So quick and dirty access to the rear. You just pop the 10Xs, loosen the side zippers, and I'm kind of lazy, so I just flap it up onto the top and call it a day. But I wanted to open that to show you another detail. Some might call this sort of thing unnecessary, but at high speed, the top can kind of wiggle, waggle, wiggle, waggle. So we add these dual hind joint adjustable tensioning bars that create a 45 to strengthen the assembly. And it's a very small thingamajigger, but it has a huge effect. It really benefits the design of the top quite nicely. This truck is a 1966. It is number 123. It is built in the old school style. We did the chrome option bright work for the wing windows and windshield trim, and same with on the hardtop. We did the usual Alcantara headliner, and then there's layers of Dynamat hiding behind that. For the soft top on this one, we did it in our gray color. We offer 4 optional colors for the soft top. I generally recommend people just stick to the black because it hides dirt and dust, fingerprints and the like. The gray will be more sensitive to wear and stains, but it sure as heck looks nice, especially with this color combo, and it flows really nicely through to the interior. For the interior on this one, of course, being an old school, we ran the usual old school door and cargo panels with the metal chromed lit spears. We did a synthetic, it's a specialty vinyl 4-way stretch intended for marine applications on the upper portions of door and cargo panels, as well as the main bodies of the seat. And then the inserts come from Europe. It's a company called Incotex that does some really nice premium inserts, many of which are actually silicone based, so they're super, super durable. But this one kind of had like a denim vibe, and I thought it worked out really nice with this color combo. The seats have the optional CNC'd icon logos on the seat backs. The front seats have the seat heater option. Audio system on this truck is our elevated audio, thereby meaning it has the Focal K2 speakers with separates plus amp and bass hidden under the seats. And then of course the Pioneer latest and greatest version of the NEX head units, which has tetherless CarPlay, Bluetooth navigation, CD, HD, yada yada yada. This client also ordered the sat radio option as well as the reverse camera. We did analog old school manual windows. So this one did not get the power windows, although he did opt for the power door locks. The wheels are the old school style forged aluminum 18-inch US made wheels. And we finished those in the Wimbledon to pick up the other Wimbledon details. For tires, you may have noticed recently, we switched to Toyo. This truck is running the open country Toyos, and specifically they are an LT 285/65 R18. I'm really happy with the performance of these tires. They're nice and quiet. They work well on wet pavement as well as the trail and skating around the canyons when it's dry and you're getting a little spirited. Powertrain, speaking of spirited, of course, is the Gen 3 Mustang GT application 5-liter Coyote aluminum fuel-injected V8. We run our own proprietary program. We run our own fully enclosed intake and filter, which is something I see a lot of people running open ones. The big old cannon on there to catch all your dust. Those are never going to run right. These engines are very, very tricky when it comes to tuning. So we carefully engineered ours. It's all metal, and it houses the factory Coyote air filter and matches all the plenum dynamics so that we can get the tuning to be optimal. For transmission, we are running the Raptor application 10-speed automatic tranny that has sport mode or normal drive mode. That is sending power through to the Atlas 2 twin stick shift on the fly part-time 4-wheel drive 2-speed transfer case. 1310 U-joints, down specialty drive shafts to our Curry Industry Icon specific axle assemblies. Those are based on Dana architecture. They're 100% new down to the castings, and they are fully powder coated. We're running a Dana 60 high pinion in the rear and a high pinion 44 in the front with fine spline axles and every upgrade you can imagine. In the center of these diffs, you will find the optional ARB locking front and rear differentials, a must for off-road traction, and really no reason not to order them because when they're not engaged, they're entirely passive. But when they are engaged, they get you out of trouble in a hurry. Icon Sport Brakes by Brembo, featuring proprietary 6-piston front, 4-piston rear calipers, T4041 hardware 2-piece slotted rotors, and a dedicated mechanical parking brake. You have tunable sway bars in the front and the rear, complemented by the optional Icon Sport suspension developed with our friends at KW, specifically their Ryger brand, which focuses on off-road truck and SUV applications. This is a nitrogen-charged full coilover system. It is private labeled and developed specifically for us. Ride quality is epic. Handling off-road, no compromise there either. And you have tunability with the sport suspension package, where you have 2 rates of tuning on the bottom of the shock bodies. You also have adjustable sway bars, but I don't really ever see anyone messing with those unless they're going to get really, really rowdy off-road. You have plenty of flex. We have 12 inches of wheel travel. So there you go. That's all I got. So that's all you get. But we appreciate your support. Please comment, ask questions, share, like, all those beautiful algorithmic related thingamajiggers. And you guys be well. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks.